Good morning, zookeepers, and welcome back to Planet Zoo. Today we're going to be making an enclosure for the Pallas cat. Something I've been excited to make because they are honestly adorable, angry little kittens. They are a great animal and probably is I keep saying probably one of my favourites that get added, but yeah, I really do like a lot of the animals in this pack. It was a really good pack, the Zookeepers pack. It was this is a great animal, and I've been excited to make this enclosure. I had a rough idea for this enclosure in my mind, the way I wanted to make it, for quite a while now, and actually putting it together was quite fun, and I say fairly easy till you get to about the roof. I did change my idea on how I wanted the roof to look in the end, mainly because I definitely didn't have time to do what I originally wanted to do, and I just knew how long it would have taken me to make the roof, and which you'll see the way I change it in the end in this video, and why the roof I ended up choosing for it. But yeah, this was a good fun enclosure to make. I really wanted it very rocky in the middle. I wanted a little cat house at the back for them. That was a kind of an off view area, so they had a little bit of privacy from all the guests in the zoo. And that's what I always love about going to zoos, when they have those kind of enclosures where there's off-show areas, because sometimes you can go to the enclosure and not actually see the animal, which kind of gives you some draw to going back to the zoo another time just to try and get a glimpse of said animal. And I always find that kind of thing is sort of mysterious in a way, and something I really kind of enjoy. So that's what I went for here, where they have an off-show area. I kind of keep it very plain on the inside. Again, timing. I didn't have too much time. I spent ages on the outside of the enclosure, so I've actually uploaded it to the workshop as well, so you can add this to zoos, and you can decorate the inside to the way you want, because it's left completely plain and up to you, other than having this little mesh sort of fence in here, mainly just so that it separates a keeper area from the Pallas cat area. I also add a few lights and obviously a roof. I do move the keeper gate to the actual inside of the outdoor enclosure area, because then I was thinking, every time they drop off a Pallas cat, they're just going to throw it into the zookeeper area. So I do move that about a little bit and then change things up. But honestly, this was a good fun enclosure to make. Now, something I'm really excited about, to be honest, I thought this was going to be the last DLC, with its name ringing a very close bell to the Jurassic World Evolution last DLC, which was the Park Manager's Collection Pack. It has a very similar kind of ring to it, the Zookeeper's Animal Pack, and I was like, oh, this is probably going to be the last DLC for Planet Zoo. Now, in the live stream of Frontier Unlocked, they actually have said that this isn't the last DLC, which is ace. So we're going to still be getting more DLCs. I think it's next year we'll be getting the next one, if I remember rightly. So I'm super excited for that, and the fact that this isn't going to be the last DLC for the game. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. And yeah. So anyways, you see on the inside, I just placed a load of pre-built climbing frames and added bedding to it, because like I said, I didn't have too much time to go and fully deck out the inside myself. So I just did that because I wanted to watch them use it and have high up beds and things like that. Eventually I'm going to come back to this anyways, and then sort of add my own kind of bedding areas. But for now, like I said, I'm just going to keep it with the prefab built climbing frames and just keep it nice and simple, mainly focus on the outside, because obviously the outside is the first bit that you're going to see when I load up my park. So that's basically the way I work things. If I can see it, I want to make sure I'd finish that bit first. I do add a bit of the little little eyes there at the top of the door. I don't know why. I was just oh, cat eyes, yeah, they look great, and just slap them there. I did leave them there in the build as well, so I ended up I was looking at why did I put those there? I actually quite like it in the end. It's a little bit of silly theming, as it were. And then with the rocks, I wanted to make it very rocky, pretty much their kind of environment and where they're used to. And it just makes it interesting watching them climb all over and jump. At some point, it's like watching Super Cat, Like, some of the jumps are absolutely mad, and I absolutely love it. It's great watching them like jump from one side of the enclosure to the other, like a Superman flying through the sky. And yeah, just go around all the different crevices in the rocks, adding different bushes and things like that, kind of experimenting with what kind of plants I'd like to see in there. Also, you're having a mesh roof, so it doesn't matter too much if the plants start growing through that mesh roof, because that does happen with plants, because obviously mesh isn't a solid thing, it's got loads of gaps, and they will grow through that mesh roof. So that's a kind of vibe there. And then I had tons of different grasses to the floor and things like this, and just like build up slowly so it fits in with the rest of the enclosures that are in this zoo, as I really do love this style. Like, it's just great, just like adding loads of grass on top of each other rather than using a grass brush, and also adding other like little plants into there to thicken it up and make it more alive. Thinking back to it, this is the only enclosure I don't add nettles. It actually is the only enclosure I don't add nettles. I've been kind to my keepers, I don't want them to get stung. This enclosure ain't having nettles, and you don't want the little pink nose of the Pallas cat to get stung either. So yeah. And this is the long bit, was sorting out the mesh roof. So originally I was going to have it so it was like triangled and kind of pointed in the middle, but to do that it just takes forever to try and get it to look right. And I was like, yeah, I definitely do not have the time today to do that. At some point I will try and make one of those roofs and try and make it an empty building, so then I can just copy and paste it onto other builds when I want to have that style roof, because it does take a while. So anyways, I just kind of go with, you know, I'm going to have it a flat roof, and then I'm going to have these nice little supports which are going to keep the mesh roof up. And yeah, I actually really enjoy these items. These poles actually came from the Zookeeper pack as well, and it's such a nice like item to use, especially for making supports like this. I don't think there was anything small enough to be able for me to make this, because I made the Jaguar enclosure before this pack, well, before I actually like started using stuff from the pack, and I was like, oh wait, there's nothing really to do that. So the fact I can make these now and make them look actually pretty half decent makes me pretty happy. And yeah, just added supports in the middle one that goes straight into the ground, because I feel like it look kind of strange with no supports going to the ground, so I just did them in the middle. And yeah, the door as well, I made a sliding door. So I was like, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to lock them in. Do I want to do a cat door? But I was like thinking, the keepers got in there and they haven't really got a way in there from the outside in the keeper bit, which technically they would, but you can only have one like zoo gate into each enclosure. So I was like, oh, sorry, I'll do it this way so the keepers can walk around and still get into there. And watching the Pallas cats was they're so adorable. Like that little yawn, the way it sat inside the little box enrichment there. It was so cute. But I had a ton of fun making this enclosure, and for me, I'm really happy with the way it looks in the end. It kind of reminds me of like 3 different enclosures I've seen, all for monkeys and small primate, small primate enclosures rather than like actual Pallas cats. When I've seen like cats in captivity, like the Scottish wildcat, things like that, they've always been in what I'd call like a very classic at-home chicken house, would probably be the best way of saying it. So yeah, anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this and it's given you some inspiration with your builds. Let me know in the comments, is this a kind of enclosure you'd put a Pallas cat in? And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.